everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today I'm doing another indie horror spotlight. Today I have with us today a filmmaker. He has a new movie out right now called Krispr. It's actually streaming on Amazon. I have Petrie Willink. I mean, Willink, right? Willink?
Correct. Yep. Nailed
Perfect.
it.
Perfect. Petrie, welcome to the Horror Room, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Travis.
So tell us a little bit about Krispr.
In a nutshell, Krispr is a story about really about family coming together at the holidays, and it all goes south because the son, who is a scientist, that's my character, brings home his genetically enhanced super clone, which he's created in the lab using the CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology. And he takes the clone home to meet his family, which he really shouldn't have. And the clone observes and learns at a very accelerated pace and uses that knowledge to develop sinister plans and concepts about the world that she finds herself in.
And what was some of your inspiration for creating the idea for this film?
I was heavily influenced by a few classics. One of them is Frankenstein. It draws some from Frankenstein. There's also quite a lot of Ex Machina in there, but also Stephen King and John Carpenter are also big influences on me.
Now, production-wise, how long did it take you to film this movie?
Sorry, say it again.
Production-wise, how long did it take you to create this film?
Production. We were in pre-production for about 9 months, and then actual shooting was, I think, 16 days, and then post-production took about almost a year. Yeah.
Okay, so it definitely took a while to put this together. But
Indie moves slow sometimes.
Exactly. It's a beautiful looking movie. I mean, and it's an idea that is definitely a unique, interesting idea. Now, I mean, with AIs and even clones, I mean, this is something that possibly could happen in our near future since we're going more and more less human.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to create something in the sci-fi genre that sort of talks or deals with this a little bit. And obviously the challenge is normally sci-fi is very big budget and everything. So I had to write a script that covers some of these territories, but keeps it in a sort of contained indie setting.
Now, without giving anything away, was there in mind? And were you in mind to making a sequel while filming this movie, or did you just want it to leave it as a one piece?
I mean, I left it open at the end, so there is room for further development. I guess that's as far as I'll go in terms of spoilers. And so my plan was to kind of gauge the response and the demand once it's released to figure out the next step, if indeed there is going to be one.
So, as you know, I interview a lot of new filmmakers, veteran filmmakers, and one of the questions I always ask is, in the year 2023, filmmaking is so accessible right now, and especially with streaming services. What are some of the challenges as a filmmaker today?
I mean, it always goes back to that age-old problem of funding, doesn't it? I mean,
it is, yes.
Every time, at every level, it seems like, even at the big studio level, it's struggling to get enough funding. Where does it come from? All of that. So that was my biggest concern moving into this. And I found it was my experience that once I'd set a course and like committed to this venture, the universe kind of just provided the bits that I needed, including the funding. It all just sort of like came down and came through different channels, and was made possible for it to bring it all the way to the screen.
Now, is casting a challenge? I mean, because you did a great job, especially with the actress who played Krispr. She did an amazing job in this movie. Um, is that a challenge for any filmmaker to find the right cast, the right individuals for the part?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We searched for months for those for CRISPR and also the girl who plays my wife, Ash. She both of those girls, we did extensive auditioning and it was all online during the pandemic, which made it more complicated. But as you probably are aware, casting is such a crucial part of the process. You have to get that right. And so, I wanted to take my time and really meticulously look over every single option until, we were happy with what we got. Because, like you said, she does a great job, and it's not easy to track a performance, especially when we shoot completely out of sequence. And she pieces it all together so that her arc is exactly where it should be at all in every scene. So it's real hats off to her and how she pulled that together.
Yeah, because I mean, one thing that most people assume when it comes to indie films is that you're going to get crappy acting. You might get a great story, but you're going to get crappy acting. But it always surprises, which is not always true. But it's always a surprise, even someone who's an indie film fan, to watch a indie movie. And I'm like, wow, the acting is top notch in this movie.
Wow, thank you so much. I appreciate it. As one of the actors in the film, that
Yes, you did a
really
great
touches
job
me.
too.
And that was that was so challenging to sort of be in the scene playing my character and also be responsible for guiding the other actors' performances and making sure that those performances fit in the overall story and everything that we're trying to do there. So my background is acting, and I was you know lucky enough that I had that experience to really know what I'm looking for and to really spot good talent when I saw it, because we had to go SAG, because the actors who play my parents, they're both sort of like older seasoned actors with a bunch of credits from the past, and we just wanted to reach that level of performance and reach that level of actor that really that's really believable and it doesn't like distract from the story when you're watching it, because like you said, bad acting, it will take you out of the story however good the story is.
Character development, great acting leads into character development. You care about the characters, you care about the movie.
Exactly, yeah. No, so
Now,
I appreciate you picked up on that. Yeah.
now working on the other side as an actor and then going over to be a filmmaker, do you think, looking back at it, you're like, wow, okay, I'm glad that I worked on one side of the camera before I came to the other side?
I mean, yes, absolutely. I mean, it did. I from the start, I always knew that my strengths were with writing the script, and casting the actors and guiding the actors to get what I wanted out of them. And I knew that my deficiencies were in the sort of like the technical filmmaking and the shooting and the lighting and all the technical aspects that go into it. So again, me with my partner, my producing partner, we searched through a lot of DPs, and eventually we found this guy who did mostly music videos and was hungry to do a feature, and so we hired him, and he, was a huge asset on set, getting those shots and bringing his creative film photography vision to the story, which, like I said, is not my area, and I really didn't know what I was doing there. So I had to really trust in him, and yeah, we did get some good shots in the end. Yeah.
And like I say, it's a unique idea, it's a unique movie. Is it hard as an indie filmmaker to go and make something completely unique and be uncertain on what the success or how people interpret it compared to going the route which is a proven, which is the cookie cutter horror movie slasher?
Yeah. Well, the classic sort of like horror slasher way is not a genre that I personally enjoy too as much as more sort of like suspense and high concept sort of thriller. Um, so so it was important for me as a sort of a writer and a creator like that to tell a story that I personally would enjoy to watch.
Yeah, and I agree because I mean I'm a huge horror fan. I love slashers. I love everything, but I'm starting now to learn the process of indie filmmaking and like understand the budget is the key and sometimes going the slasher route is the easiest way to go because all you need is woods and somebody with a mask on and
Yeah,
ready to
yeah, I
go.
know it's very
Yeah,
basic, and a lot of people are doing that, and I think that's great. And I
yeah.
now and again you get a gem that comes through, and it's like, wow, this is really great. Like but I knew that I wanted to do something that was a little bit more sort of like makes you think a little bit more. It's not pulling on those hardcore, intense sort of horror emotions, and more on sort of like a building of suspense, and it builds to a sort of like a climax, um, and it makes you sort of think. And there's a few themes that we talk about in the film that hopefully gives you something at the end to sort of like take away and think about as well.
So after writing this movie and then now you're filming it, were there any parts? Was there any time as the director that you thought to yourself, "Wow, this might be a little too intense for an actor or actress"?
Um, yeah, there were some lengthy conversations and agreements done around the brief nudity that we have, and so that was a because we are low budget and indie, and so that was always a an area that I wanted to deal with great sort of like delicacy and decorum, in terms of making our actors feel very safe and secure and supported. Um, so there was that, and during production, I mean, we were shooting such long, hard days, and the crew and cast, they were such troopers. They really pulled their weight, um, you know. And if I were to do it again, then there's no way I really want to push them on a schedule that we had to that we did, because I really pushed them to breaking point, and it's yeah, it's tough. you know, they pulled through. They did a great job, but there were some differences of opinions, and there's some clashing and so forth. So yeah.
I mean, I give credit to any actors, filmmakers, the production crew because it's from what I'm hearing, it's long, stressful hours,
Yeah, such long
and
hours.
and it's a question mark if the final result is going to be a payoff or not. And like I mean, at that point, it's more about the love of the project and the actual art than anything else. So, I mean, I give kudos. That's why I don't. But that's why I try not to even bash indie movies. Period, because it's done for such a low budget, and everybody's there. They're doing it because there's a passion for the project. They act for the most part. passionate project and they actually enjoy doing this compared to the bigger Hollywood budget movies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we managed to attract, like I said, these sort of older, more seasoned actors because of the script. The script was really well received, and everyone really responded to that. And that was the element that really interested them in coming on board and telling that story, is because it was well laid out, and they enjoyed the script. So yeah, that was a huge part of it.
So do you have any other projects in the works?
Yeah, I'm currently over here in London. I'm taking meetings for an agency out here, and in the meantime, I'm writing it's kind of like a martial arts action story. I mean, it's really a story about these two brothers. It's like a brotherly love story. One's Korean, one's from the US, and it's surrounded by this sort of martial arts competition. Um, which is fun. You know, it's been in my notes for a while, and I've been developing it slowly in the background for some time. So now it's time to just put it to paper and get it out.
Awesome, awesome. Now, are you a martial arts fan or?
When I was a kid, my dream was to be an action movie star. Like that's really what I wanted. So I took up taekwondo and trained trained with taekwondo for many years, got a black belt and everything. And so now I just need that perfect story that can sort of like showcase that and you bring that to life.
Were you a Jean-Claude Van Damme fan or Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I just watched Bloodsport the other night.
Favorite movie.
Yeah,
I love
so
Bloodsport.
good. Yeah, Jean-Claude Van
Awesome.
Damme. Yeah.
Yes, I love Van Damme. All right, so next we're gonna shoot to the fun part of the interview. I'm gonna ask you three random horror questions since this is a horror show. Okay, you ready? All right, what is one horror movie that scared the crap out of you as a kid? That's kind of still does now.
The Ring.
Great one.
That one really, really messed me up. It's not right. Yeah.
Such an iconic horror movie. I mean, when she was coming out of the screen, I mean, I saw it in the movie theaters and it scared the shit out of me.
Oh my! Coming out of the screen, that
Yes.
just. I mean, yeah, that was gnarly.
What horror movie director or filmmaker do you say is your favorite? You get more inspiration from when it comes to your movies?
I'm a huge Guillermo del Toro fan,
Great
and
choice.
yeah, and his monster obsession is just fascinating, and it's so fun to see that brought to life in really every one of his movies. There's
Yes.
some sort of monster or another, and I'm a big fan of the monster genre. The monster is a good, fun concept to play around with. So yeah.
Man, I even loved um I even had the Funko Pop as um it won Best Picture. It was the
Oh,
Alien.
the clear
Yeah,
water one.
yeah, the water one. I can't think of the name. I love that movie. I saw that in the actual theaters, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really great. Oh, but I forget Jordan Peele as well. Like Jordan Peele, when I watched Get Out, I was just like that movie was just so well put together and so well built up. And it was like that's the standard, that's the gold standard.
Get
So,
Out was
yeah.
amazing. Get Out was amazing. All right, final one. Okay, and Ash from Evil Dead has to be excluded. Who is your favorite final guy?
My
Or
favorite
final guy.
final guy.
So instead of a final girl, he's the last guy. He's the guy that survives in a horror movie.
Oh, okay. drawing a blank on films where they survive, where someone survives.
You could say Chris from Get Out. I mean, he's definitely an option.
True. Oh, that's a great option. Yeah, that ending. Yeah, that's a great way to end that film. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, the end of Get Out where he his friend turns up.
And
Yeah,
runs
yeah,
them over. Yeah. And
yeah,
it's a great movie. That's definitely my favorite Jordan Peele. I'm not a huge fan of Us. Get Out was, I think, his masterpiece.
oh,
Really,
absolutely.
really
Yep,
good.
yep,
Uh,
yep.
All right. So where can everyone find you?
I am on Instagram at Petrie Willink. You can also follow the movie. It's at Krispr Movie. My personal website, if you want to have any more information, is petriewillink.com. That's about it.
Awesome. Listen, everyone, check out Krispr on Amazon. Travis Bruce from Harlem is giving it 2 thumbs up. So that means see it. So, and I don't do that a whole lot, but 2 thumbs up. Check it out. Check it out.
Travis, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so
No
much.
problem at all. Everyone, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'll see you guys next time.